Hello, Albert.
Hello.
You're a philosophical practitioner and you work both with groups and individuals, but I understand that you have a philosophical cafe. You have had it for almost 10 years.
Yes, that's right. I had a cafe which is running now almost 10 years, and we do it in a very high frequency, like basically every week. I try to do it every week, of course, with breaks, vacation, and so on. But we kept this frequency for almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Can you share with us what are the basic methods or ideas that you use in this philosophical cafe?
Okay, first, I think I have to say why I do it, because there is a need from my side. When I finished my studies in philosophy, I couldn't work in this field. I had to do something completely else. I was working on the airport for a long time. And I had the need to do something with philosophy because I studied so long and I want to share it with other people. So my idea was to create an area or a field where there is no threshold for people to engage in philosophical discussions. Therefore, it's taking place in a cafe. That means in a normal cafe, not in a rented place. It's taking place without any fee. Therefore, the people don't feel like this question, should I pay this extra money? What will I get for it? They just can go in. If they don't like it, they don't come the next week, but it's completely free. And so I tried really to make the threshold as low as possible, that a lot of people engage in this discussion. I think one other important point is to bring people to discuss from different, let's say, communities. Because normally people stay with their working colleagues or in their age group or in other groups, religious groups, political groups. They don't really discuss with other people. They only discuss in their community. And the purpose of this Cafe-Philo, as I see it, is to bring people together from completely different backgrounds to engage in discussion. And I think in one respect, at least, I succeeded, that really the age groups are mixed, that you see old people and students discuss with each other, which is a great thing, I think.
So they come also from different social backgrounds?
Yes, of course, let's say you have people with at least some education, which they have an idea what could be philosophy. So it's not completely through the whole society, but they are quite different people, really people from different backgrounds. People who didn't study, people which studied, and so on. And this is the purpose, I think, of a Cafe-Philo.
And what is the structure? Do you just give a question and they discuss, or is there some specific structure?
Okay, I think this also developed over time. When I started first, the idea was like you give a question, a philosophical question. I don't know what is love, what is justice, things like this. But it turns out if you have such a general question, the discussion often goes on different way. The people start to talk about different topics, and it doesn't have really a form. So what I started then, especially when we started to have our own homepage, to put short texts from a philosopher or from literature, from a novel, a poem, it could be, and then we have something to focus on. And these texts make people stick to something. So I can also say, okay, now we are going too far. We have to come back to the text again.
Can you give an example of a text that you used recently?
For example, what I like to do is to make a choice of small quotes about a topic. For example, I had the topic of fragility, and I took some things from a novel, from a theater piece, and everything talks about is fragility something good? Is it something bad? Should we avoid it? How to avoid it? And so on. And these are different, very small sections. One was from Heinrich von Kleist, the German dramatist. One was from a Saint Francis of Sales, and completely different backgrounds also again. And I put it on the homepage. There are about 5 or 6 quotes about fragility, and then it is like a starter to get the people to talk.
So the issue was whether fragility is a good thing or a bad thing.
It has different levels. Is fragility a good or a bad thing? If, as most people first consider it a bad thing, how to avoid it? This is also a question. For example, the other term was flexibility. Flexibility and fragility are in a tension, For flexibility is in a way to avoid fragility. And this was put into discussion also, these two terms.
And what happened? You pose the question, and what happens then?
Okay, I always start to, if nobody say, I always hope that someone else says something, because often people propose to me a text or a piece, a quote. In that case, I'm in a good position. I can say, okay, you proposed it. Please tell me, why did you propose it? What was your thought behind it? If I propose it, of course, I have to say something about it. Normally, I try to put something like provocative to let the people think and to let them also challenge me. So, for example, if I say fragility is something good. For example, in this piece of Heinrich von Kleist, fragility is actually a sign of vitality, which is for the first, when you hear it, it's a very strange thought. How can fragility be a sign of vitality? Normally we consider fragility, the old are fragile or the sick are fragile. It's not a sign of vitality, but I challenge this. And then we start a discussion, why could it be? What is the implication of fragility?
What happens if somebody just declares something that doesn't seem to be reasoned or not deep? Let's say I say, oh, I think fragility is bad. And what do you do then?
I mean, normally, if someone says something even crazy, it's okay. This is the rule of the Cafe-Philo. You can say whatever you like, except insulting other people.
Okay.
But you can say whatever, and I always try to connect to what he's saying. And if someone is fragility is bad, then I will ask in which respect it's bad. What is the bad about fragility? Okay. But this happens often because there are people of so many different backgrounds. You have often people who seemingly say something which you cannot really connect to the topic, but you have to try it, always. You can always find some sideways to connect even a crazy statement to the general topic, because otherwise this person would feel excluded. If you just don't react at all or shut it down, then the whole dialogue would stop.
And do people sometimes bring up their personal stories, personal experiences, let's say about fragility?
Yes, they bring. This is a critical point, I think, because of course it's welcome that people talk about personal issues, but you have to be very careful because sometimes other people react, in different ways. And if you talk about personal issues, you expose yourself. So I would not, let's say I will never ask people about their personal experiences. If someone wants to bring it up, that's okay with me, but I will never force it, and I will never try to get something out of someone. Wants to say. This is, by the way, this is the same principle for me in my philosophical practice. This I took in a way from the Cafe-Philo, because I don't want to talk from my side about personal issues. Right. If someone wants to talk about it, I will not avoid it. But I'm not forcing it. I want to talk about philosophy, about philosophical issues.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Albert.
Okay, thank you.